Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be back and I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to reconnect and move forward with your education. I know we're all going through a really hard time now, so I'm just really excited that we can move forward together and work on our theory and practical studies. So today we are working on our anatomy chapter. So you guys have already completed the anatomy of the cell. That was the beginning of the anatomy and physiology chapter. Now we're going to move on to the anatomy of the hand and arm and the anatomy of the foot and leg. Now I know I was discussing some of the worksheets with you guys in the private FB group chat for the labeling, because I know some of the labeling isn't in the manual. So any other sheets that I can send, I'll let Anna know and she'll drop them into the folder online like we discussed. Okay, so right now I'm just going to read through the chapter and elaborate as much as I can on information that you need to know for the test. And then we'll do question and answers after. So try to keep your questions until the end of the lesson. Then we're going to also do a Zoom tomorrow. So the Zoom will happen tomorrow at 12. So any questions I don't answer or questions you can't think of asking today, we can always go through all that tomorrow as well. Okay? So we're going to start at the skeletal system. You also have to prepare for your anatomy of the hand and arm quiz, I believe. So we'll go over that after the lesson as well. Okay? Good. Okay, so the skeletal system. The skeletal system is the physical foundation of the body. The entire skeleton is composed of 206 bones, so you'll need to know that for your test. 206 bones make up the entire body. These bones have a variety of shapes and are connected by movable and immovable joints. Bone, second to tooth enamel, is the hardest tissue of the body. The scientific study of bones, their structure and functions, is called osteology. So you'll need to know that for the test as well. And you'll need to know that the technical term for bone is os, O-S. The functions of the skeletal system. You will have to name these. Shape and support. Protects various internal structures and organs, serves as attachments for muscles, and produce body movement. Good. Produce various blood cells in the red marrow, and stores various minerals such as calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sodium. You don't have to name the different minerals, you just have to say stores various minerals, that's fine. Bone is a hard connective tissue consisting of bone cells called osteocytes. The cells are embedded within a hard substance primarily composed of calcium carbonate and calcium phosphate. Bones are covered by a specialized connective tissue called periosteum. And cells within the periosteum aid in bone repair after injury. It also serves as a point of attachment to the bone for muscles and tendons. Bone receives its nutrition from arteries that penetrate the periosteum and enter the bone structure through a series of microscopic canals. The structures attached to bone include cartilage and ligaments. Cartilage is a tough elastic substance similar to bone but has no mineral content. Cartilage cushions bone at the joints and gives shape to some external features such as the nose, the ears, and ligaments are bands or sheets of fibrous tissue that support and connect the bones and joints. Joints. The various bones of the body meet at junctions called joints. So you do have to know that the other name for a junction is joint. Bones are connected together at joints by ligaments and a band-like structure called the joint capsule. The ligaments give the joint strength, while the capsule encloses and seals off the joint from surrounding tissues. Within the joint, each end of the bone is covered with cartilage, which helps to cushion the joint. The joint is filled with a synovial fluid, which acts as a lubricant for the joint. So you need to know all of your synovial fluid joints. So the pivot joint is the neck. One bone turns on another bone. So you've got your atlas and your axis. The atlas sits on top of the axis, and the head rotates or pivots. At the hinge, you find the elbow and the knees. So the elbow and the knee joints, it's called the hinge joint because it opens and closes like a door. And the knee, same thing. Okay, so you have one pivot joint, two hinge joints, and then you have the ball and socket joints, such as the hip and the shoulder. So one bone fits into the socket and rotates like this. So shoulder, and then your hip. Okay, ball and socket. So two of those, and then you have two gliding joints. Gliding joints, the little bones, the 8 little bones and the 7 little bones on your wrist and on your ankle. Move it up. Oh. Sorry, guys. I think we've got it. So your gliding joints, the little bones in the wrist and in the ankle, they just glide gently past one another. So they glide in the wrist and in the ankle. Okay, so you will have to name those, and you will have to give the locations on the test, on the anatomy of the hand and arm test. The quiz is just the labeling of the bones, muscles, and nerves. Bones of the arm and hand. So the scapula and the clavicle form the shoulder. So the scapula is the shoulder blade, and the clavicle is the collarbone. The humerus is the uppermost, largest bone of the arm. The ulna is the small bone on the pinky finger side. So on the small finger side, the ulna. And then the radius is on the larger bone on the thumb side. I always remember this from like right on radius. So right on radius, thumb side. Carpus or wrist. So your wrist is called carpus or carpals. Flexible joint composed of 8 small irregular bones held together by ligaments. So your wrist has 8 bones and your ankle or your foot has 7. I don't know why the wrist has 1 more bone, but it does. Then you have your 5 metacarpals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the bones of the palm of the hand. And then the digits. So digits are fingers. They consist of 3 phalanges in each finger and 2 in the thumb, totaling 27 bones. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 phalanges. Okay, so 14 phalanges, 5 metacarpals, 8 carpals equals 27 bones. So if the foot has 1 less bone in the wrist, then the foot only has 26 bones total. Okay, so now we're going to go into the bones of the leg and foot. So all that information that we just went through, all the theoretical part is going to be on the anatomy of the hand and arm test. That's it. The quiz, just the labeling. And now we're going to move on to the bones of the leg and foot. The bones of the leg and foot quiz is just labeling of the bones, muscles, and nerves. And then the bones of the leg and foot test are going to be just fill in the blanks. So basically everything that we're going to go through now, you'll have a word bank that says femur, tibia, fibula, patella, and then you'll have the description. So you just have to fill in the blanks, okay? So the femur is the long bone that forms the leg above the knee. So the femur is actually the heaviest bone of the body above the knee. The tibia is the larger of the 2 bones that forms the leg below the knee. The fibula is the smaller of the 2 bones that form the leg below the knee. So the tibia, basically when you feel your ankle bone and you feel the protruding bone on the pinky side or the big toe side, that is the end of the fibula on the pinky side, and that's the end of the tibia on the big toe side. So those are the bones sticking out. And then your patella is an accessory bone, and that's the knee. The patella is the knee. The ankle joint is made up of 3 bones. The ankle joint is formed by the tibia, fibula, and the talus or ankle bone of the foot. The foot is made up of 26 bones. These can be subdivided into 3 general categories. 7 tarsal bones, 5 metatarsal bones, and 14 bones called the phalanges. So you have phalanges in the toes and the fingers, so that's the same. The only difference is that you can also call phalanges digits in the hands, but you can't call them digits in the feet. That's the only difference. The long, slender bones in the palm of the hand are called metacarpals, and in the foot, tarsals. And then the wrist is carpals, and the ankle is tarsals. Okay, so subtle differences. The muscular system covers, shapes, and supports the skeleton. Its function is to produce all movements of the body. Myology is the study of the structure, function, and disease of the muscles. The muscular system consists of over 500 muscles, large and small, comprising 40 to 50% of the weight of the human body. Muscles are fibrous tissue that have the ability to stretch and contract according to our movements. There are 3 kinds of muscular tissue. There's striated muscles, which are voluntary muscles. Non-striated muscles. Okay, hold on. Good. As a nail technician, you are concerned with the voluntary muscles of the hands, arms, legs, and feet. It is essential to know where these muscles are located and what they control. So muscles of the shoulder and the upper arm. So you have the deltoid muscle, which is a thick, large, triangular muscle that covers the shoulder. Then you have a bicep muscle on the front of the upper arm that lifts the forearm, flexes at the elbow. Biceps, triceps are the muscle that cover the entire back of the upper arm. Yeah, and we're going to go over, I'm going to summarize all this when I'm done reading, and we'll go back and highlight exactly what you guys need to be focusing on for the quizzes and tests, okay? So muscles of the shoulder and upper arm. Deltoid, biceps, triceps. Muscles of the forearm. Pronator. So the pronator is the muscles that turn the hand inward so the palm faces down. Okay, so I always remember this from playing pro basketball. Supinator, hand comes up, holding a bowl of soup. Supinator, pronator. Okay, that's the action. Then flexor, bend the wrist, draw the hand up. Extensor, straighten the wrist. And then muscles of the hand. You have the abductors and the adductors. So ADD, adding together. Your digits come close together. Abductor, opposite. The muscles spread apart. Okay? Both of these muscles are located at the base of each thumb and finger. Opponent muscles are located in the palm of the hand and act to bring the thumb towards the fingers, allowing the grasping action of the hands. So opponent muscles, basically all of the fingers that touch the thumb that can do this. Muscles of the lower leg and foot. As a nail technician, you will use your knowledge of the leg and foot during pedicures. So again, you're going to have a word bank with all the names of the muscles, and then you're going to have the descriptions, and then you just match. So the extensor digitorum longus bends the foot up and extends the toes. The tibialis anterior covers the front of the shin. It bends the foot upward and inward. The peroneus longus covers the outer side of the calf and inverts the foot and turns it outward. The peroneus brevis originates on the lower surface of the fibula. It bends the foot down and out. The gastrocnemius is attached to the lower rear surface of the heel and pulls the foot down. The soleus originates at the upper portion of the fibula and bends the foot down. So on your test, your foot and leg test, you just have to match the name to the description, okay? The muscles of the feet include the extensor digitorum brevis, abductor hallucis, flexor digitorum brevis, and the abductor. The foot muscles move the toes and help maintain balance while walking or standing. Nerves and so the ulnar nerve branches small finger side. Just hold on. Good? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, should be okay.
Testing, testing. We're good? Okay. So the ulnar nerve and its branches supply the small finger side of the arm. So the names kind of are similar with bones and nerves. So the ulnar nerve is called the ulna bone. Then you've got the radial nerve.
Can you mic pack for a second?
Hmm?
Can you mic pack for a second?
Yep. Hold on, guys.
Should be okay. Maybe can you just leave it on the table for now?
Yeah. Yeah.
See if that helps.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, the ulnar nerve, the ulna bone. The radial nerve, the ulnar bone. Or the radial bone. The radial nerve branches the thumb side, the ulnar nerve, the pinky side. Then you need to know what the smallest nerve in the hand is, and that's the median nerve. So when you need to describe that, you just need to match and say that that's the smallest nerve in the hand. The digital nerve, think of your digits, branches and supplies all the fingers. Nerves of the lower leg and foot. So you've got the tibial nerve, a division of the sciatic nerve that passes behind the knee. Common peroneal nerve, also a subdivision of the sciatic nerve, extends from behind the knee to wind around the head of the fibula to the front of the leg. Deep peroneal nerve, also known as the anterior tibial nerve, extends down the front of the leg behind the muscles and supplies impulses to the skin on the top of the foot. The superficial peroneal nerve, also known as the musculocutaneous nerve, extends down the leg just under the skin, supplying impulses to the muscles of the skin of the top of the leg as well as the top of the foot. The saphenous nerve supplies impulses to the skin of the inner side of the leg and foot. The sural nerve supplies impulses to the skin on the outer side and back of the foot and leg. And the dorsal nerve supplies impulses to the skin on the top of the foot. Then we have blood supply for the arm and hand. The ulnar and radial arteries are the main blood supply for the arm and hand. So again, that's the same kind of name as the nerves. Arteries take on the same kind of name. You've got the ulnar artery, the radial artery, so we know that the ulna is the pinky side and the radius is the thumb side. The important veins are located almost parallel, so you do need to know that veins and arteries lie parallel with each other, and they take.
I think the battery is getting low.
Oh, okay. We're almost done. Are you going to change it?
Almost.
Probably another 15 minutes. Okay, we're going to change some batteries here.
Hey guys.
1, 2, 3.
Can we read?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, we're back in business. So very important, you do need to know that arteries and veins lie parallel. You need to know that arteries are found deeper in the tissues and the veins lie near the surface. Blood supply to the lower leg and foot. We have the popliteal artery that divides into two separate arteries known as the anterior tibial and the posterior tibial. The anterior tibial goes to the foot and becomes the dorsalis pedis, which supplies the foot with blood. Okay, so that's it for that chapter. I'm just going to go over now how to break it down and how to study for your quizzes and your tests. So basically, your quizzes are the labeling. So we've got the labeling of the bones. We have the clavicle, scapula, humerus, radius, ulna, and then all the bones in the hand. The muscles. So in the hand and arm, you have the trapezius, the deltoid, the bicep, the tricep. That's it. You have the nerves, the ulnar nerve, the radial nerve, and then the median nerve, you need to know is the smallest. And that's it for the hand and arm. So basically you're just labeling one hand and arm, bones, muscles, and nerves. Okay, so the quiz is pretty easy. You guys have all of this information in your folders that Anna created for you. If you're missing any information, let me know. I know a lot of you want the actual labeled worksheets put in the folder, so I'll talk to Anna when I'm done with you guys today, and we'll make sure that happens. Now, the anatomy of the hand and arm test is all the written information, okay? So do you guys have your, I'll open this up now for a question and answer before we kind of get into what you need to know for the test. Does everybody have the anatomy of the hand and arm study sheet? I can check too. I'll check the folders and see. If not, I'll drop that in there, or I'll get Anna to do that for you. Yeah, just let me know. Again, if we don't get to all the questions and answers today, we have tomorrow at 12 o'clock when we go on Zoom, okay? But I do want to go over the answers and information that you need to focus on for the anatomy of the hand and arm test, okay? So we'll do that now. So we can highlight, where is the info? Just an empty answer sheet. Just an empty answer sheet. Colleen, are you looking at the anatomy of the hand and arm study sheet? You've got the study sheet, okay. You are reading from, I'm reading from the manual. So you guys have all this information. The only information you don't have is the answer sheets to all the labeling. So I'm going to drop those in your folders today. I sent some pictures to the group, to the FB group. So most of you have access to that, but I know a few of you said that you couldn't really read it. So I'll make sure that those get dropped in your folders. What page? What page is the anatomy? My manual is going to be different than yours because mine's a teaching manual. So maybe somebody in your class can help you out with that. It's not there. Okay, so yeah, if you don't have the study sheet, I'll make sure to drop those in the folder. Okay? Okay. So I'm just going to read through this now verbally, and you guys can just mental note everything. And then when I get that information to you, or when Anna gets that information to you later today, just look in your files, and you can fill out your study sheet. So your study sheet is basically everything you need to know for the test. Okay? And the anatomy of the hand and arm quiz and test, I believe, have to be completed this week. Okay? Joanne, page 95. Awesome. Thanks, Joanne. My page is totally different. Okay, so let's go through this info. Okay, so the entire body is composed of how many bones? How many bones in the body? We know there's 206 bones in the body. The scientific study of bones, their structure and function, is called osteology. Osteology, study of bones. List 5 primary functions of bones. They store minerals. They protect internal organs. They make blood cells. They produce body movement. And they give the body shape and support. Okay? The technical term for bone is os, O-S. The muscular system consists of how many muscles? 500. The muscular system comprises what percentage of the weight of the human body? 40 to 50%. And now you need to know the differences between ligaments, cartilage, and synovial fluid. So ligaments are bands or sheets of fibrous tissue that support the bones and joints. Cartilage is a tough elastic substance similar to bone but has no mineral content. And synovial fluid is the lubrication that prevents friction at the joints where bones meet. Another word for joint is junction. And then where are these synovial joints found on the body? So we talked about the pivot joint. We know the pivot joint is the neck. The hinge joint is elbows and knees. The ball and socket joint is shoulders and hips. The gliding joint is ankle and wrists. And what 2 bones form the shoulder? That's the clavicle and the scapula. So this is the clavicle, and then the scapula is the shoulder blade. So collarbone, shoulder blade form the shoulder. The clavicle is also known as the collarbone. Number 12, the total number of phalanges in the digits is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 phalanges. And now we're going to fill in the blank for the bones of the arm and hand. So for this, you'll have a word bank, and you'll have the definitions or the descriptions, and you just fill in the blank. So it consists of 3 phalanges in each finger and 2 in each thumb, the digits. Another name for wrist is carpus. Uppermost and largest bone of the arm, the humerus. Larger bone in the forearm on the same side as your thumb, the radius. The smaller bone on the small finger side of the forearm is the ulna. And the bones of the palm of the hand are the metacarpals. Okay? Next, what nerve and its branches supply the small finger side of the arm and palm of the hand? So what nerve? The small finger side of the nerve. It's the ulnar. With its branches, this nerve, which is the smallest, or is smaller than the ulnar and the radial, we know that the smallest nerve is called the median nerve. Median. Next one, while the arteries are found deep in the tissues, the veins lie near to the surface of the arms and hand, lying almost parallel with the arteries. So that's a fill in the blank. And now we're just going to fill in the blanks with the muscles. So a large, thick, triangular muscle that covers the shoulder, deltoid. Muscle on the front of the upper arm, biceps. Muscle that covers the entire back of the upper arm, triceps. Turns the hand inward, pronator. Turns the hand upward, supinator. Bends the wrist, flexor. Straightens the wrist, extensor. Separates the fingers, abductors. And draws the fingers together, adductors. And the digital nerve and its branches supply all the fingers of the hand. Okay, so that's all the information that you need to know for this week's quiz and test, Anatomy of the Hand and Arm. And that's it, ladies, for the lesson. That's all we're going to focus on for today. So let's open it back up for questions, and I'll answer as much as I can for you. Colleen, did you find the chapter? You've got the information? Can you confirm the time for the Zoom discussion tomorrow? 12 o'clock, 12 noon. And we'll send the link. Anna will send the link to you tomorrow, closer to the time. The questions, upload to Google Docs. I'm not sure if we can upload to Google Docs. I know Anna has you guys set up on the Drive, and you can do Word doc or PDF style for that. So that would be an Anna question. I'll make sure that she sees that. The questions you just read from, did we have those? So that's what I just read from was the study sheet. So the Anatomy of the Hand and Arm study sheet. So I know, Joanne, you said you have the study sheet, but again, I'm going to double check if it's in your folder. If it's not in your folder, then I'm going to get Anna to put this in for you, okay? Today, by the end of the day. Yeah, Joanne, G1 and G2 and G3 will also be involved. So all 4 SPA classes will be involved in the Zoom tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, you need it. Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure that goes in your folder, Colleen. And everyone's clear about what they need to do for the labeling for the quiz and all of the written. As long as you have the study sheet, this is exactly what you need to know. And you guys have your quizzes and tests in your folder, so you're going to know exactly what you need to do. Obviously, I would prefer it if you didn't do open book, but you do have that information available to you. So obviously, if you need to do open book, that's no problem, and you obviously won't be docked any marks for doing that. But you have all that information in your folders. But we can't label on Google Docs. So what can we do? I need the anatomy diagrams as well. Yeah, guys, I'm going to send those anatomy diagrams to you, and they're going to go in your folder. Okay? I already sent them to you on our Facebook private chat, so you have a pretty good idea about what you need to label. If you want to confirm spelling, you can look in your manual, but I'm going to be putting all of those diagrams in your folders, okay? Hi, Anna. Colleen, I just sent via FB today, just quickly, because some girls had some questions, but everything you actually need will be in your folder. I think that's for you, Anna. Yeah. Any other questions, ladies? Perfect. Okay, guys, this was lots of fun. I'm glad we're doing this now. It's awesome connecting with you. And hopefully I'll talk to you tomorrow at 12. If not, I will see you next week. Bye.